Danny, welcome to the Ragnar Roundup. This is episode 5, and this is very special because we have taken the show on the road, and I wanted to give you some home field advantage. You've been here before, right? Where are we at?
Yeah, we're at Double Dogs here in Gallatin. This is kind of the best place to find me at 2 o'clock on a Friday.
Well, it's good to know that there's a reliable spot I can find you whenever I need to. But I think this is also a really good opportunity for Double Dogs to be a sponsor. It just seems like it's hard to find a team that's so talented before they get signed to a major deal. So we'll just see what happens with that. But Danny, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Danny Prestage, live in Gallatin, Tennessee. That is pretty much it.
Okay, fair enough. And if I remember correctly, the first time we met was in my backyard, and it was over a bourbon, which is very fitting for what we're about to do. And at the time, you had a fascination or a hobby that related to ice. So can you describe what that entailed?
In general, I think ice is underappreciated for what it is. I think a perfectly clear hand-cut ice cube is one of the greatest things in the world and should be a part of any whiskey drink. So I spent a lot of years trying to figure out how to make perfectly clear ice cubes. It takes several days. We have a whole process. And Christian, you were one of the first people that actually sat through my explanation and acted like you cared. So that was big. Made me feel good anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if I was kind of like scared or surprised about my new friend. It involved a cooler and chipping away at different parts of it.
Yeah, it's primarily one directional freezing. You have to go one way and it pushes all the bad stuff out of the ice.
Now, do you look down on ice that is not completely clear?
Well, I mean, we're all different. You know, there's some people try, but you know, I mean, there's the real deal. So as long as you appreciate the clear ice, I think you can really drink anything.
Yeah, you got to keep your mind open, basically, is what you're saying. Yeah, it's a philosophy. Danny is going to be runner number 9, and he is doing over 21 miles total, which is one of the longest runs of the team. But you have a history of running long distances in the past. So tell us about your prior runs.
Well, I've done a lot of less than smart things. So I've done a full Ironman. I've done a handful of half Ironman triathlons, a couple marathons, but you know, nothing really like gracefully or fast or smart. So when you said, "Hey, I need somebody to just take some miles," you know, I'm pretty good at that. So I tend to be stubborn and run slow. So hopefully we can finish. That's always my motto.
Yeah, how did that triathlon go for you? It seems like you, looking back on it, you really enjoyed it.
I've not done another. It was about 13 hours of the longest day that I've ever had. But, you know, I got the medal and got the finish, and that's kind of finish and victory are very, very similar to me.
Yeah, close enough, yeah. And you also, I've heard you have a unique training style. It involves your basement and darkness, something like that. Can you walk us through what happens down there?
Well, that sounds way worse than it is. What Christian and I were talking before, and I was explaining that I've put in a lot of time. Oh, there's Amanda. Running on treadmills in the dark, just because it just kind of shuts everything out. I do a lot of my running at night because, you know, if it's dark, nobody can tell if you're feeling good or bad or crying or laughing or wheezing. So, you know, I like quiet, easy, solitude. And so I hide out in dark places.
I don't know what to say about that, but I think you're going to have an advantage because one of your runs at least will be during the night. You can cry and sweat as much as you want. What are you looking forward to the most about this Ragnar in particular?
Oh, listen, I just love hanging out, so I'm excited about the van prospect. I'm excited about everybody kind of piling in and supporting each other and going through this whole process. Um, I love spreadsheets just in general. So I'm amazed with the planning that you have done on this. Uh, I think the whole thing is going to be great. So I'm excited. I was telling you earlier, I'm very unprepared. I have 3 days blocked off on my calendar. I'm going to show up when you tell me to show up. I'm going to do what I'm told, and then we're going to finish. So it's all good.
That's all a team captain wants. That's perfect. Okay, last question. What is your spirit animal?
So I've been thinking a long time about this since you asked me this about 2 minutes ago. And I think I'm going to have to go with a mule because I tend to be a little stubborn with things, take direction, I think, fairly well. A lot of people would probably argue with that. Slow and steady kind of wins the race. So, and I can pull a bunch of stuff if I need to. So I like it.
That's perfect. Well, Danny, let's cheers our Double Dogs Ale.